Hope everyone is having a fantastic day. Hope you guys can hear me. I feel like I'm like one of those new TikTokers, or then people that be showing off like their OOTDs, and they'll be like holding a little baby mic like this, or they'll be like this, and like this is my OOTD of the day. Tap tap tap. Anyway, um, welcome back to my channel. My name is Olivia. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day today. Um, Something today that I just had a thought about that I wanted to talk about is I was in a conversation with someone a few weeks ago and I asked a question that just popped into my head while we were talking. I said, you know what? Would you rather have nothing, like none, or would you rather have too much? And I immediately thought of, when you don't have to worry about what you're losing when you have a lot of it. You don't worry about that. But also when you don't have nothing, I feel like in some cases you can be happier. I know that is not everything because sometimes you need something. But I was like, I was thinking about it from this perspective. Having none, it can give you the space, it can give you the motivation, it can give you that ambition, that motivation, like I said, to aspire to developing something. But I feel like sometimes when you have too much, that doesn't give you room for something additional. And even then, you may not even be appreciating what you have, having that gratitude because you have too much of it, and you may not be able to handle it too. It becomes excessive. You stressing out over it. And also this too, I think Michael Jordan said this. He was like, it's hard to be hungry when you have. When you just have a constant abundance and then you always just have a lot. It's also hard to be hungry when you are full. You have a full appetite, you have no desire for something better, or you have no desire to fill that hunger because you're full. And it just made me think that in life overall, for me personally, I just want, even though I do not have the things that I want yet or that I aspire towards, I want the place where I am now in my life and the place that I want to be inspire me and give me that motivation, give me that aspiration, that desire to work towards that, whatever I want to be in the future. And I feel like you have to also find that sort of in between phase. Because when you have nothing and you inspire to be something else, you have to create something from nothing. But I also realize, like I said, when you do not have necessities like food or safety, too much is generally, excuse me, better than nothing. But and yet for vices, stress, stuff like that, you just nothing or something moderate can be a little bit better for you as a person overall. And I say, like, for survival opportunities, when you have excessive resources, like you got food, you got money, you got skills, it can provide a buffer for you and for you to make more choices. Also, abundance allows you to learn to manage excess to contentment, to finding that balance. But and yet, like I said earlier, when you have vices, when you have too much of something, because they say too much of something is bad for you. They say too much sugar is bad for you. Too much junk food's bad for you. Too much the vegetables, eating right, healthy can be too much water can be bad for you. I feel like having little or maybe having a balance is better than having too much. But even I think about for feelings, having no emotions might seem peaceful, but it limits life. It limits how you view life and your perspective on life and your perspective even from where other people come from too. But having no emotions, having too many emotions, too many feelings can be overwhelming. It prevents you from experiencing the now, you from experiencing happiness and joy. And I don't know, I feel like it's important to find that in between line, that balance where you don't have too much, but yet you don't have nothing. You're just very satisfied. You have a balance of very moderate, because whether it's little or plenty, when you are content with what you have, it can bring riches. You can be happy. You can have peace in your life. And like I said, balance is key because There is not an extreme lack or there's not an extreme excess, but you have to find that middle ground, that satisfying middle. Um, but honestly, any situation, every situation, the ideal choice depends entirely on the specifics of what's being discussed or the situation. Um, but I even think of it this way, I could lose all my money today and have nothing. And I have a mentality, and I try to continue to develop a mentality of this, of not being worried, because I know that everything I lose will always come back tenfold. And I'm not worried about having nothing, because I feel like having less, having nothing makes space for what's to come and what's supposed to fill that void. And also, unfortunately, people, how we have gotten accustomed, even in the United States, we have too much access to everything. We're too satisfied with having too much. And if I lost everything today, would I be okay if faith was all that I had? And I have to have the mentality, and I've developed it, and I continue to develop it. Well, is that with the mentality of faith, I'll be all right. You know, Someone said, faith will guide me even on the bad days. It's beside me. But what did he say? Sorry. Faith will guide me on the bad days, but on the good days, it's beside me. Having faith in what I cannot see, knowing what's behind the clouds, even though it's rainy, it's storming, it's thunderstorming, it's outside, and it's lightning, and just knowing that the sun is still there, and using gratitude to always continue to restore my faith, even though I'm going through a period where I know where I want to be and I'm not there yet, but using that ground, that in between, so that where I am now can inspire me to become the person I want to be in life. And like I said, getting back to what I was saying, finding a balance is very important, because you don't want to do nothing because, like, to the fact that where you accept negative circumstances or situations, but also having too much, like, can often lead to paralysis. You're leading to anxiety, stress, and happiness. That's why I said finding that middle ground, that middle place, or that middle path is that balance is key. Um, that sweet spot. That sweet spot is important, and like I said, and doing, instead of doing nothing or just being overwhelmed by everything, living in the now, living in that middle ground where you can have it's very healthy, it's very balanced, and yeah. But that was just me ad libbing. That was something that I wanted to share today. Just always try to have a mindset of mentality of using where I am now in the place I want to be, that middle ground where I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm in this position now, using that to inspire me. And even the fact that, like I said, you can turn nothing into something, but not having too much in abundance where I have so much that I do not appreciate what's in front of my face, and I do not have gratitude until it's taken away from me, and I'm stressing out because now I don't have it no more. And like I said, still having the desire to become the best person I could possibly be, finding my purpose, doing the things I need to do in life, and not becoming dissatisfied when I'm full, when I no longer have an appetite, thinking that, okay, this is it, no longer continuing to have that drive, that desire. But that was something that I wanted to share today. Um, Hope everyone has a fantastic day. Yeah, and I'll see you guys next time. I hope this worked. Bye.